Hey there, comic pros and comic joes. I am Brett the Comic Novice here talking about Future State. So, I am going to be looking at week 1 of Future State with some of my thoughts, my novice thoughts revolving around Future State. And I will tell you, to be perfectly honest, I was going to sit out the entire 2 months of Future State because from my hearing of people's complaints on YouTube, on podcasts revolving around Future State, this was either A, the death knell of DC Comics, B, a convergence 2-month pause, C, the revamping of the DC universe, and they will hence destroy everything going forward, or D, there we go, D, throwing as much stuff against the wall, seeing what sticks and what doesn't, and then moving forward with those comics in preceding months. Now, DC being a business, AT&T being a business, of course that's what they're going to do at some aspects of this whole Future State. There's so much about this Yara Flor Wonder Woman. I hope I pointed to her. Anyway, I didn't see that. So, what is my novice thought revolving around Future State? Well, from somebody who was going to sit out the entire 2 months because of all the negativity surrounding it, and the only reason why I jumped in was because I heard an interview by Jeff Thorne on Comic Purchase Channel revolving around Green Lantern, all these negative things that were in the media revolving around him, Bleeding Cool, some other places, and he was very forward, he was very very honest about what he saw revolving around Future State, and I will tell you, it gave me hope. And in this world with how influx things can be, that's all I want, is I want to be entertained and I want to have hope. And so I haven't read his book yet, but he did give me some hope. And so I decided to, give these titles some hope and see what this whole Future State is about. Because you know what? It might be better than people are actually billing it as. And to me, the problem about YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, also podcasts, is the need to go negative, because negativity brings in an audience. And oftentimes I'm kind of skeptical about people's actual beliefs on things. Do they believe them because they actually legitimately do, or do they believe them because their audience needs? They need the audience of negativity to get their channel hyped and stuff like that. That is not what you're going to find here on The Comic Novice. I am a novice reader when it comes to comics and the world surrounding them. So that's what I bring to the table. And I am going to look at these 4 comics. I have the next Batman, Flash, Superman of Metropolis, and the Yara Flor Wonder Woman. So I'm going to be looking at those. I did not pick up the Harley Quinn because it just didn't interest me. I was going to pick up the Swamp Thing at my local comic book store and didn't think that would have been an issue. Apparently it was, because that thing was much like most of those things. Those things were on my pull list. I was going to gauge the Swamp Thing by its art and or whatever and flip through a couple pages. Didn't have the chance. All sold out. So that being said, here is my thoughts on the Future State, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Flash. All right, so before I even begin talking about the comic reviews, the Future State books from January, what day was that? The first week of January. Anyway, before I even begin talking about those, I will tell you I also had another bit of reservation revolving around participating in Future State. Not only were the books a little bit more expensive, even though I understand that there is backup stories and, the first next Batman, a lot of people are complaining that the price is $7.99. However, there are, I believe, 3 stories in there. And so you're not just getting one book, you're not just getting one comic book, you're getting multiple ones. But once you figure out that and do actually your homework and turn on your brain, but here's the thing that worried me. And it is the timeline. The timeline, again, this is DC Future State's timeline, and it starts off at 2025, moves to 2027 with some of these books, 2029, 2030, 2035, 2040, 2050, to the year 3000, whatever, end of time. And I was just like, well, I guess none of this stuff matters then. And it could possibly be future stuff. Are they building a universe, or are they not building a universe? So I was kind of concerned revolving around this. But you know what? I just decided, again, after listening to the Jeff Thorne interview, I have hope. I believe that there's something good that's going to come from this. So I decided to just go in and probably buy every single number one, except for the Harley Quinn book. But this one, The Next Batman, which is written by John Ridley, who did, 12 Years a Slave, and art by Nick Darrington. The art is just fantastic. You have the Magistrate, which was being set up by Peter J. Tomasi in Detective Comics and perhaps the Evil Mayor. Right now, I'm kind of curious who the Magistrate is, but he is arresting anybody that has a mask, vigilante or crook. Then you have the Bane's crew, who are trying to initiate these two young teenagers. I kind of like this story. It is really interesting. A little while later, you have Jace Fox right here, who possibly could be the next Batman. You don't know unless, you've seen the art for the cover for the Next Batman number 2, then you find that out. And I find that sad because I really like the intrigue of who it could be, who it could not be. You have this scene, which is kind of a Law and Order type of a scene. You find out. The only thing I'm concerned about is now whenever we have a red hat or whatever, is there double meaning for the red hat, or can it just be a red hat? Anyway, that was the first story of The Next Batman, and I really enjoyed it. It set up the world. It's really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The second story is the Outsiders. I did not like Batman and the Outsiders, and I read the Year of the Villain 7 stories, and I dropped that as fast as that once the 7-story arc ended. I did not like that one. I was kind of concerned about this one. However, this story about Katana is just fantastic, and so is the art at all. Katana has this jetpack, and I'll tell you, this is my favorite page right here. You have Katana coming in, slamming in, kicking butt over here, going here. She comes through this, goes down to this floor, kicks butt over here, comes down over here, kicks butt over, oh, nope, goes through the floor. Just phenomenal, full page right there. So enjoyable, amazing. I love how, I'm not used to just reading comics or whatever, but I just loved this layout because I wasn't sure if I go right here, then I go right there. But the more you just look at what's going on, it worked so well. The art was beautiful. The story was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't wait to find out what happens in the next one because we have this teaser, because we have Black Lightning, literally Black Lightning coming out, and that's our teaser for the next one. The last one was drawn beautifully, I will tell you that. I got bored reading it, and I have no idea what happened in it because I stopped reading this story. The art is fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love it. But I don't know what happened in it at all because I don't know if it was just too many word bubbles, but I got bored. Now, next, Superman of Metropolis. I almost like this one more than the next Batman. Almost. So you have this whole Brainiac the future where people are implanting, I will tell you that gives me just the willies of implanting technology in your body or whatever. Superman comes to save the day. Now, I will tell you one thing that I was kind of not 100% sure I was going to like was this, I guess, I don't know if it's manga or whatever, but this look of Superman. This is Jonathan Kent because Clark Kent is going to be is on Worlds of War with Mongol, and I'm very excited for that one. But you have this entity that is basically trying to I'm not sure if enslave humanity through technology or whatever, but eventually Jonathan Kent shrinks down the city of Metropolis and has it put under glass, similarly to what the city of Kandor is. Supergirl gets really mad. However, she's being used by this whole Brainiac type entity that this Superman has fought previously. I really like this story. I've heard some negativity revolving around it. I enjoyed this thoroughly. I know some people have said that, this is not John Kent's personality. I don't care. It was fun. I can't wait to find out what happens next. Now, next, revolving, this future one with the new, maybe old Mr. Miracle, I didn't like it. The art just didn't work for me. I don't know what it was about this story. It just didn't compel me. But what I did like was the third story in there, because just like the Batman one, there's 3 stories. The first one featured Jonathan Kent. The last one featured Guardian, and the middle one featured Mr. Miracle. The one featuring Guardian is great because it takes place months later after the city of Metropolis has been bottleized or whatever, shrunk, and they're all in a bottle. I love this, not bottle hoax. Oh, Red Hat. And it was enjoyable. I loved it. It was great. Look at this. Look at this action move right there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, fantastic art. Love this story. I'm really quite intrigued by what's going to happen revolving around Guardian, about what, the civil unrest within this bottleized community or whatever. It is great. I loved it. Absolutely did love it. The Flash. Now, I have read all of Jeff Johns' Flash. It is Wally West. There is a massive love for Wally West. I get that. And whenever you do something to Wally West, everybody gets irked. If you do anything to Nightwing, everybody gets irked. And so, could they have used Wallace instead of Wally West? Probably. They could have. So, Wally West gets possessed by some essence, and the Team Flash loses their Speed Force. And so they break in and they're stealing all of the Rogue's weapons, which is great. And this is just drawn perfect. I love this. I love how it's drawn. It is fantastic. Sadly, they kill Bart. Oh, poor Bart. This right here, this art right here is just fantastic. It gives you like the little whole synopsis of what's going on about this entity, or about Barry and Wally's relationship, and then how the entity took over. It's so drawn so beautifully. I don't care that, Wally has been, criminalized and this and that. It is a fun story. You know what? I'd willingly put money on it. This is not going to be a future inevitability, because what it says on all of these future state ones has been saved from the brink of destruction. With the victory comes new possibilities. There we go. So, did they have to do this book? No, they did not have to do this book. But you know what? It's a fun story. The art is fantastic. You need to be able to figure out what you have as writers, as possible artists, because a lot of these artists are not the ones from Rebirth and stuff like that. You have this great synergistic thing where Team Flash is trying to communicate to Wally. They get to the Speed Force. Sadly, the entity is evil. Oh, an evil entity is evil? That's interesting. Anyway, to me, not that big of a deal. I understand people are mad at them for doing this to Wally yet again, but you know what? Get over it. The last one that I read was Wonder Woman, and I did own this. I do own this physically, but I think it's just going to be a little bit easier to do it through here. So Wonder Woman, I will tell you, This one I was not actually too. I was actually looking forward to it. The synopsis seemed great. You have this new Wonder Woman that we've never seen before. Well, except if you go to the Generation Shattered or the last Dark Knight's Death Metal. However, beautifully drawn by and written by beautifully drawn by Joelle Jones. I don't know if I really like this comic that much. I mean, it is great. You have this weird comic relief thing where she's battling these dragons. She yells Jerry. You find out he's not coming for some reason. Jerry is still not coming. Where's that stupid animal? And you get this My Large Pony just taking a drink. Did not really, this is just a weird story. You have this, then a little while later, she goes to this like wood nymph type thing. She wants to go to the underworld, and so this wood nymph thing wants to take her there. So she pulls back, I guess, reality. And when they get there, the underworld looks, according to this, it looks like some sort of like train station. However, the reason why it does look like a train station is because it's the way that your brain compensates to create something that looks familiar. And even though it is something that looks familiar, you have this weird TSA check-in and reward frequent flyer miles, and it was just, I did not particularly care for this. Wonder Woman, she definitely is not your Princess Diana Wonder Woman. I mean, I heard a lot of people really find it quite funny. I don't know if that's not what I intended for Wonder Woman to be, but I kind of didn't like this one. And I know that's controversial because I said, I'm fine with the Flash. This Yara Flor Wonder Woman is here to stay because there's going to be at least a 5-series mini after we are all done with Future State. So with that, I mean, I guess we get more character development, Yara Flor, the teen years, to find out why, she is the way she is. I'm really quite curious revolving around what's going on with this. Not the biggest fan so far. I will get the next one. I am very excited for all of those ones. I did have to special order Swamp Thing, get the second printing of it that will come out, I think, the first week of February or whatever, because everybody undersold and it actually did a lot better than they thought. All right, well, that's it for this video. So what did you think about my thoughts revolving around week 1 of Future State? Not that bad. I think not that bad. Again, did not read the Swamp Thing, did not read Harley Quinn. Not that bad. Stay tuned for the next video where I go over, not these because I just barely went over them. So here's my haul from New Comic Book Day. So I got Dark Detective, which I did read the first story of, which not a lot of information, but I kind of liked it, what I read. Did not read the backup story about Grifter. We have Superman and Wonder Woman. Teen Titans, which I do feel very lucky having that one because I guess there is a first appearance on that one, and it is now in second printing. I am irked about this because the artist who did the variant cover, not a fan of. It's not a fan of that art, but whatever. And then Green Lantern, I'm really excited. There's 3 stories in this one. And then I got the Justice League, which I believe has a Justice League Dark backup story. I'm not sure if it's a full backup story, but not a fan of Justice League Dark, really. And then also at the same time, I did have these on my hold list, so I'll just show you. So I got the Star Wars High Republic, the issue number 1. I got crossover. I haven't read any of these yet, but I wanted this one for this cover. And then I read the first issue of this Juggernaut, this 5-part Juggernaut, and I really liked it. Then I just stopped reading it, and so I'm just gonna, now binge the whole thing. So what are your thoughts on, so far, what the Future State has brought us? Are you excited for Future State? Are you meh about Future State? Are you just dropping out of Future State? Please comment. I'd love to find out, where am I wrong? Am I wrong about The Flash? I mean, you know what? Everybody is entitled to their opinion. It's okay to disagree or whatever. Sometimes. So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, whatever. I appreciate those of you that have reached out to me with some kind messages. I do worry about negativity. I do have a issue with some mental things. So I do appreciate some of you leaving kind words and stuff like that. It really means a lot to me. So stay tuned until for next time, where I go over Future State. I am really looking forward to. I do have one video that I'm actually really excited about, because I've deemed it the comic that will make the most people mad in 2021. The DC comic, I should say, that will make the most people mad in 2021. So stay tuned for that one. Thank you for watching, and as always, thank you for your time.